Oh, it's a feel-good Friday. Welcome to Trendz live on SABC News Channel 404. But you can call me Mne. It's time for another serving of incredible lifestyle, art and music entertainment. So much is coming up on the show this evening. I'm super excited and we can't wait to share it all with you. Please also share your thoughts with us on social media. Drop us a mention on X. Our handle is @Trendz on SABC. Kicking start the show this evening, we're tickling our funny bones as we celebrate this iconic legacy month. Our producer Silepe Maifadi headed to the UJ Art Gallery to explore the partnership it has with Rainbow Nation Comics and Afro Geek as they present a mixed media comic exhibition titled African Hero. This well-curated project is Africanizing the superhero aesthetic and even has a comic that reimagines Nelson Mandela's younger years. Have a look.
Local audiences are in for a treat. Storytelling rooted in African values have found a voice in the superhero comics world.
We wanted to do something, for a different type of audience, because in galleries you always get an older audience, people are more comfortable with gallery spaces and so on, but we want the youth, we want young people to come into gallery spaces. So we wanted to try something different and bring in type of artworks that might be more interesting for younger people, and also to bring in the comic book art into a gallery space, because I think that's where they belong.
The theme is just celebrating African innovation, African storytelling, and also just being in a space where we can create and support and enjoy stories and artworks around our own original heroes. We consume a lot of Western media, so it's very refreshing to be able to actually enjoy authentically African superheroes, authentically African characters and worlds and mythology, etc.
The exhibition is exploring modern heroism within the African context by showcasing the comic stories through an array of mixed media elements.
For comic book art, you mostly have digital artwork, so they created these characters and storylines digitally. So these are printed on various mediums such as canvas and vinyl and so on. But what we also have is a few different elements, such as the comic books themselves as artist books displayed in display cases. We have stickers, we have a coloring book, we have audio for one of the artists who's also a singer-songwriter who wrote and performed a song on his character that he's created, Young Nelson. And then we also have video pieces of some of the characters created, and we have an animation that the young students from UJ created in collaboration with the one company, Rainbow Nation Comics, on their character Young Nelson specifically as well.
I've always admired the heroes of South Africa, Nelson Mandela and all these people that really made a change in the world. So I wanted to honor them by being a part of this exhibition and really going into something and letting myself out into the world with my creativity.
I was interested in this work because of the stories that it has, and to put that story into a more graphical medium in terms of from comic to motion graphics, animation and stuff like that, and the way it encompasses the heroes of society into the story. I really got interested because of it.
We have two collectives that we work with for this exhibition, Rainbow Nation Comics and Afro Geek. So Afro Geek is a collection of quite a number of artists. We have two of those artists on exhibition here, Trevor Nginwa and Bill Masuku.
The distinct difference between the two is Bill Masuku's take on the whole superhero or African hero trope is more in line with your traditional Western heroes like Superman, Batman, so your men in tights and capes and spandex and such. He's created a character called Captain South Africa, who's of course a woman. So a lot of the artwork you see is centered around Captain South Africa and the other characters that exist within that universe. Trevor, on the inverse, his art takes more from traditional African history, from pre-colonial African history. So a lot of his art is more centered on antiquity and He has a character called Shaka, who's modeled after Shaka Zulu, who inhabits this fictional land called Kunyumba, which is an analog for Africa. So it's two very distinct takes on the whole African hero mythos. So that's why we wanted to have these two artists who show two different sides of the spectrum, so that you can see how broad the African hero as a concept can be.
And then we have, in Rainbow Nation Comics, we have the two brothers, Pamelo and Umfile Dibodo. So they are the ones that created Young Nelson. It's based on the morals and ideals of Mr. Nelson Mandela. So there's quite a lot of interesting things. Also, he, for instance, has boxing skills like Mr. Mandela had as well. So there are quite a few similarities, and a lot of people like the character quite a lot. He is a very fresh, exciting person, and it's very easy to relate to him as well. So yeah, he is really one of the main characters. We also have a cutout of him in the background here, which you'll see, which is wonderful. And then we have T-shirts with him printed on as well.
This mixed media comic art showcase certainly highlights African storytelling and adds a twist for gallery art lovers to enjoy.
Now, onto something that will have you rushing off to the cinema. The words "he's not ready" or "she's not ready" can spark either mature, constructive conversations, or their mention can create total chaos and controversy, and sometimes even tension. Well, you'll be thrilled to know that the highly anticipated romantic comedy "He's Not Ready" recently premiered in cinemas countrywide. Even more, it's also showing in Namibia, Zambia, and in Botswana. I'm joined in studio tonight by actress Motsoaledi Setumo and director Tebogo Mogale to discuss this fantastic rom-com. Welcome to Trendz Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, Mo and Tebogo.
Yes.
Tebogo, let's start with you. Sure. The rom-com is titled "He's Not Ready."
Right.
Why is this title so befitting?
Because he's not ready. I think it's a story about a young man who has been dating his longtime girlfriend. And that relationship has now reached the stage where she's asking, what next? And this sets our guy off of a journey that he's simply not ready for. Hence, he's not ready.
It's always so interesting how it's the guys that receive the ultimatum and have to go off a cliff. Mo, let me come to you. You play the leading lady Zonke, who gives the boyfriend obviously an ultimatum in the relationship. What made this role so exciting for you?
The fact that there's a girl who would give a man an ultimatum got me exciting, because as Motsoaledi, it's something I would never do. So stripping myself of that and focusing on Zonke and her feelings was very exciting for me.
Must have been also very interesting to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who does it like.
Yes, I was judging her a bit. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? You're embarrassing us. Because the boys 1, the girls 0.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. I really had a good time playing Zonke.
Ah, man, I absolutely love it. Mo, coming back to you. So you have a starling cast that's performing in this rom-com. Tell us about a few of these creatives that you have in this movie, and you know how they made it spicier, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they're just not here right now, but so we have there's a lot of power in diversity, so we try to diverse our cast as much as possible, and they are from different walks of life on different platforms. So we have movie stars like Motsoaledi, but we also have guys who are theater practitioners, we have guys who are comedians, we have a couple that come from a commercials background, and so we try to put them all into this pot and see what can be cooked up.
Yeah, I know you are definitely cooking something spicy in there. And I mean, for a rom-com, you do need a diverse cast, because we need to laugh, but we also need to cry. We also need to be in our feelings. Mo, talk to me about some of the themes that come through in He's Not Ready.
Self-discovery. I think that's the one thing that really stands out for me, for both Zonke and Thabo. Especially Thabo, because this is his journey where he needs to discover, is it something he wants? Is it the pressure from family, friends, uncles? The uncles are amazing. I love the uncles. So it's really, the theme is self-discovery for me and self-love. Another theme for Zonke's side will be firmness, backbone, power. I love that for her. So yeah, those are the themes that people will be relating to. that you need to be confident, know what you want, and stand on it.
It's always so interesting, like when these themes intertwine, especially in a setting like a rom-com, because then people get to see themselves and reflect their relationships, right?
Yes.
I love it. Mo, wedding seasons can be, be very, very tricky. They cause a lot of tensions because ultimatums are happening. Talk to me about how you think He's Not Ready addresses what could be a rather controversial situation.
I think it's we have to look at ourselves and be able to laugh at ourselves and our situations. So how it does that is there's a lot of resonance and relatability because it is a contentious topic, right? And at some point, some of us like to shy away from it. We don't want to address it and pretend like it's not there, or it's just addressed in the wrong way. But if we can sit together, watch it on a screen, and in a comedic way, which is not too, you know, it's not
serious,
not too serious. It's not going to offend anybody too much. But there is a lot of truth in comedy. We do know that.
Hey,
so
absolutely.
Which one of the funniest ones are always the ones
funny, yes. That's true.
No, I hear you. Mo, you're an actress. I think you're a critically acclaimed actress. I was actually trying not to fan when you got here.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, don't make it awkward. Don't make it awkward. Talk to me about how receptive South Africans are to local films and maybe what special ingredients are included in He's Not Ready to make it more, you know, interesting and to make sure that South Africans will love it.
You know, a lot of times people tend to say that South Africans are not ready and they don't support each other, but that to me is a lie. We have received such a warm response from the film. Just the weekend, it's just been overwhelming with so much support. So South Africans are ready and they do want to support and they want us to create movies that we can relate to. We grew up watching everything internationally.
100%.
So having to watch our own stars doing the things that Americans do is amazing.
100%.
So I really love that, and I feel like South Africans are ready and they're very supportive.
It's also that thing of being able to see yourself on screen, right? And somebody with a name that you might have. And then you sort of just relate better, né?
Also, we all grow up from Kasi, so you know when the stories are based collocation and you can relate to that. I love just when we tell our stories, it's relatable, so it touches you in the soul because there is a Thabo, there is a Zonke, there is a Tebo, there's a Mutuality somewhere. So when you're watching the TV and it's a story you can relate to, that's powerful.
It's incredible. Here's another thing that's powerful. The fact that the movie is not only showing in South Africa. It's showing in Zambia, it's showing in Botswana. This is absolutely incredible. Why did you decide to have it show there, but also are there other countries on the spectrum that we can
so there's also Namibia. So the world is fast becoming a global collaborative space, right? And I think it's about time we also start sharing and transporting our culture, you know, into our neighboring countries. And I think there is a lot of welcoming from that side for our content. And so why not? We just thought, why not? Let's try push it out there. We're also trying to push to get into Kenya. So crossing fingers, you know. Let's try and make this.
Mo saying she loves Kenya because she wants to go to the premiere.
Yes, exactly. I want to go to Kenya.
Exactly right.
Man, I absolutely cannot wait to watch the movie. I wish you all of the success.
Thank you.
And we hope maybe there'll be like a sequel. He's Not Ready Part 2. Maybe now he's not ready to have
maybe now she's not ready. Like when you wanted me. So now you want me, I don't want you no more. Those kind of vibes. I see it.
Man, He's Not Ready sure sounds like one to not be missed. Thank you again for joining us and all the best with the film, like I said.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
We love it. We're going to take a quick ad break. When we come back, we delve into more lifestyle, music and entertainment right here on Trendz Live. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Trendz Live on SABC. Keep those mentions coming on X. Our handle is at Trendz on SABC. Now, South African songstress and daughter of the soil Thandiswa Mazwai wears her beautiful natural hair in different forms without fail. We get to witness these hairstyles, watching her perform everywhere around the world, giving us a glimpse into African culture and music. After her iconic Tiny Desk meets Global Fest performance, we had to find out who was responsible for some of her memorable hairstyles. Noni Kumalo hunted down Bonolo Gabuza, aka Beezy Braids ZA, to find out about her precious gift of doing hair. Let's meet her.
Hello Trenders, so today we're out in Ilovo. We're here to tap into the art of hair. To tell us all about it is Bonolo Gabuza. She is a hairstylist extraordinaire. She started her career with house calls and today she is a leading influencer in the editorial and production space.
Popularly known as Beezy Braids ZA, Bonolo's hands have touched some of the most iconic public figures South Africa has to offer. What makes her thrive in her career is that she offers an experience beyond doing hair. It's more spiritual than professional, her pride and joy.
Braids defined me in a way that from growing up, I used to watch my mom do both me and my sister's hair. My sister used to do my hair. So it's it's something you grow up seeing as you grow up. And I was always told that my mom, she sort of was told that she has like a special place for braiding. Like she couldn't just braid anyone. She was only meant to braid like spiritually gifted people. So as I was growing up, it became part of my identity. I also knew that I couldn't just share my gift with everyone. It would just be with those specific people.
What you do is definitely a gift.
Yes.
But what story are you trying to tell with the work that you do?
Just like how I came from the hood, like from the fire, from where you are, you can land up in spaces that are unbelievable.
You're now finding yourself in editorials and productions.
Yes.
How's that journey been like for you?
It's been very creatively manipulating. Like it's been a lot. It takes a lot out of you, but like it's fun. It's fun. We enjoy it. That's where you're sort of given like a blank canvas, and then you put all those images together. That's how it like sort of differentiates you from what every other department is doing.
Do you find that like people yearn to do some of the things that you do in editorial on like a normal day-to-day basis?
I've done a few editorial looks on someone who's going to a matric dance or red carpet or a wedding. So now we play around with like headpieces, African headpieces, braided art pieces, the maternity shoots, baby showers, all of that. They'd wear like a crown with flowers and like, you know, that spiky look. So I would like look at that and then try and incorporate braids into that.
Hey, Bonolo, there's a thing, girls are paying 7,500 for their bohemian braids, girl. Is that a thing? Is that normal?
It is normal. It's a thing. Because like it's a high-end salon. It has its clients, it has its customers. So if you know that you can go that route, go for it, why not?
What's the alternative?
The alternative, I would say, is me. I'm the alternative. My main target is also the middle class girls, you know, like the working girls, the ones that want the look for also at a back and also at a venue. So I cater for both. An editorial, it's not going to be budget friendly, but like if we're trying to like achieve a trendy thing, not at 7.5, I'm your girl.
Bonolo brought some of her exquisite hair pieces from her collection to show the Trendz family.
So this is my braided bowl cap. I made this for Filala. I styled it for her visual album. It was called On Air. This is Zone 7. I made this for Thandiswa Mazwai. This was for her Nanush magazine cover with her daughter, Langa Mavuso. It was inspired by the Koroba braids, which were trending. And then this girl, she is Zone 6 because Thandiswa is from Zone 6. I made this also for Thandiswa Mazwai. This was for her debut concert for Sankofa.
Let's meet Bonolo's friend.
Black women have always loved braids, like in whatever form that they used to do. If you look into detail, their hair is like a major part of African fashion. And I think it's time that we start focusing on her work more.
You were responsible for Thandiswa Mazwai's tiny desk hairstyle. Take us through it.
So tiny desk was so much pressure because she told me on the day I arrived, and then I was like, oh my god, it obviously has to be so iconic. And then she was just like, yeah, but like I want my Africanness to still show. And then what I did was I braided her hair with her own hair, and then I made it into like a sliced orange shape at the top, like opening down, and then at each end we had a curry shell landing, and then I made just a headgear for her with all her braids and her curry shells.
So what's next for Beezy Braids ZA?
I hope whatever's next is big. I'm very hopeful on that, but I'm very happy with what I've done so far.
Oh, we love it. From fabulous hair to fabulous fashion this evening. If fashion excellence and opulence engulf your world, then this one is just for you. Celebrity fashion creative Troy Molaiwa of Helen of Troy Styles never disappoints. Now, he has a newly launched online lookbook, which he calls a testament of his career, spanning just over 9 years. Didintle Mukeleti joined him at his studio in central Johannesburg to explore the styles in this fashion industry's lookbook.
He's a game changer in the fashion industry, and being styled by his clothing label is every girl's dream. After all, Troy's designs exude flamboyance and fabulosity. He's a phenomenal fashion creative, and today I have the luxury of talking to Troy Molaiwa himself about his recently launched lookbook. Thank you so much for joining us, Troy. You're really big on the fashion scene. What do you think distinguishes you from other designers?
I think what distinguishes me more than anything is the ability to think out of the box, to think bigger is better, to think bold, to think, let me create again. You know, I think I just want to step out of my brain, color outside the box. And I think more than anything, that is what makes me so unique in the fashion industry.
9 years later, why is it now an ideal time for you to have a lookbook?
I think 9 is, on its own, is an imperfect number. My milestones came before 10. So why not just, pour my heart and passion out in the 9 years that I have been working towards this specific milestone. I wanted to celebrate 9 years with something that is going to be memorable for years to come. I wanted the 9 years to be somewhat a combination of pieces that represent the number of years that I have been in the fashion industry.
What inspired the title The Woman in Me for your lookbook?
So The Woman in Me is a representation of the women that I have, seen growing up. My mom was a seamstress back in her days, and my sisters were absolutely stylish. So every time I would look at them, I'd be so inspired, and I'd look at these goddesses. I'd just admire just how beautiful they are. So more than anything, the woman in me speaks to the 3 women that have shaped my upbringing, and it shaped how I perceive a woman in real life. So I have been fortunate enough in the 9 years of working in the fashion industry to have attracted women who are of different backgrounds, women who are of different sizes, but most importantly, women that are in the limelight. I identify the type of woman just through sitting down with them and understanding their character and understanding what they want. I've worked on international shows such as The Real Housewives of Johannesburg, Cape Town, GQ, and it has helped me understand, dressing women better. And more people that I've dressed are people like Bonang Matiba.
So you're all about bold,
yes,
color, confidence. What are some of the things that inform your stylistic approach to garments?
You know what? I'm a very, by nature, dramatic person deep inside.
Oh, there's a drama.
There's a drama.
That's your thing.
Deep inside there's drama. I might be presented as, just a simple gentleman, clean gentleman, but deep inside there's a drama in me that always wants to come out.
Showbiz requires a powerhouse of dedicated professionals, and his team is certainly a force to be reckoned with.
there's a team that actually is built to create the entire body of work. You know, I've got people who run operations at the office. I've got, you know, people who sit on the machines that, you know, run the machines. There is, you know, also the marketing elements of it. So it's, you know, a big team that creates just this one brand. And that is exactly who, you know, I am. On my own, I am a team, but I don't function alone.
It's always great to see like how his mind works and how the garment comes out, exactly how he pictured it. And you can never actually say, oh my gosh, it's going to look this great. But it always looks absolutely stunning time and time again. The lookbook that is titled Woman in Me it speaks volumes on its own. It's every woman that has paved a way for him to be the man that he is today. So I think it's a very powerful title and it holds so much weight.
I've known him for 6-7 years and he has styled me from time to time. When he finally spoke about the lookbook, and I was so happy to work with him because he's a great stylist. When he told me about it, I really wanted to be in it, even for my own personal profile. So it was a win-win situation.
Larger than life.
Larger than life. Extravagant. So tulle was used here. We gathered tulle. If you know tulle as a fabric, it's very hard working with tulle because the gathering is very intricate. The lace was hand stitched to a specific pattern so that it just flows.
Looks like the lady in red dress.
Lady in red dress.
Lady in red. So, eki that dress your pap.
Yes, get dress your pap. I speak the how can I feel, you know?
Fashion brilliance and an impressive styling portfolio. It's no wonder Troy has women on prestigious platforms and prominent magazine covers too. Now his lookbook will always serve as a reflective collection of Troy's distinctive vision, craft and impeccable taste over nearly a decade.
Truly iconic. Listen, we're going to take a quick ad break. When we come back, we take you to First Thursdays in Johannesburg. It's Trendz Live. Stick around. Welcome back to the show. Now, First Thursdays is a monthly cultural experience centered around art galleries, retail stores, restaurants and bars, taking place both in Cape Town and Johannesburg until late. This carefully crafted program is every art enthusiast's dream. The concept of First Thursdays sparked producer Noni Kumalo's interest, so she made her way to Rosebank, Keys Art Mile, to join in on the evening festivities. Have a look.
Discover the best things to see and places to go on First Thursdays. This program takes place in hubs around Rosebank with occasional standalone events in other areas. Trendz Live was in attendance and the first thing we explored was the Manor, a place where creativity and community come together. On exhibition was Sibadala Sibancane, curated by Trevor Stearman.
So this curation is basically a physical manifestation of our photo journal titled Reflecting Black, and today the images that you see on the wall are some of the images that are actually in the book. And basically the show is called Sibadala Sibancane, and it's basically a dedication to just how a lot of South African youth are faced with the intersection of having to grow up before time and the inner child always chasing them in the pursuit of actualizing their adult self. So it's basically just a look into the lived experience of the South African child. Yeah.
What inspires Trevor Stearman? When you wake up every day and these are the type of narratives that you tell us as your audience, what lifts you up?
I'm inspired by just celebrating and sharing our stories. I'm inspired by challenging and undermining the status quo. We've always been portrayed through a singular lens, and for the first time in history we have the opportunity to tell our stories in our own time and in our own language.
Next, we asked those in attendance what brought them to First Thursdays.
This is like my save the day kind of thing to do. So I study a lot, so I tend to be too hard on myself. So this is a way to spoil myself creatively.
So I like to see beautiful, appealing visuals once in a while, just to keep that good feeling inside.
I'm here for the MX event and to support the arts. I think, you know, the arts is something that should always be invested in. I think it's something that it gives us a little bit more color to our lives. Personally, in my professional world, the arts is very important, so I always want to enjoy it in my personal capacity as well.
What's your favorite thing outside of the art coming out on a Thursday, a night where there's so many art enthusiasts? What is it about today that makes you excited?
Getting to mingle with and sort of engage and have conversations with other people within my industry, other people outside of my industry that, you know, engage in the arts, people that, you know, do this as their sort of 9 to 5.
People need this. They need this. They're always occupied on their day-to-day life. So First Thursdays are things that put people into the now. It allows people to be where their feet are planted. So you don't think about the future or the past, you're just in the present. So it keeps people present.
I think because the creative industries has been so isolated from economics and blindly so, I think it's about time that people should understand what people can't be walking around naked. They need to have clothes. So they need to speak to fashion designers. Those are artists. People need to see art and consume other people's other methodologies in terms of how their psychosis emancipates. So for me, tapping into that and having platforms like this, at least once a month, where people can openly speak about their artistic expressions and their artistic frustrations and collaborate and find a new understanding of building quite a secular economy of South African creative arts.
A panel discussion on AI and creativity also took place. We asked a panelist about the challenges she faces in photography as a result of AI.
There are a few. As I said in our panel discussion, all of us think that AI has just emerged in the last 18 months, but in the reality it kind of snuck in to photographic practices as early as 2010 in the way that cameras work and focusing modes. But the risk of it within photographic practice for me is around creating a more lazy practitioner. So there are many things that AI tools can do for a practitioner that they may not have to learn the hard way. So that creates a risk.
When I was listening to you on the panel, you seem to almost say that AI can work in our benefit. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, most definitely it can work in our benefit. It's a tool. So it's the hands that the tool is in. The same analogy I gave on the stage in my panel discussion was, is a gun evil? It's who's holding the gun. You know, it's a tool. Can you say that tool is evil? It's how it's used.
To wrap it up, we asked Trevor Stearman for words of encouragement for the up-and-coming artist.
To the young and up-and-coming artists, I would say be patient with yourself. The world is already so cruel, and just employ a bit of grace. Afford yourself the time to learn, to grow, and the rest will fall into place.
Oh, what a cultured experience. Now, here's something really exciting. On a quest to discover the best up-and-coming Mascandi artists, SABC One pulled up all the stops to find the hottest and, of course, talented Mascandi Musos on their new show, Ushunu, womahlaba. This competition search took to Mpumalanga, the Eastern Cape, Durban and Gauteng to showcase the diverse, raw and authentic South African voices that, of course, show us that there's talent in this country. Now, without a doubt, there are some unique moments that keep us glued to the screens, and Puleng Molaiwa went on for all the action behind the scenes. Have a look.
Calling all aspiring musicians, SABC One is at it again. If you think you have the singing chops, this is definitely for you. Unfortunately, if you are in Johannesburg, this is the final day of the audition, but you can catch them again in Durban and Cape Town. Look, we grew up watching big music competition. It's never too late. What I love about this particular one is that they embrace traditional African music. I'm here to find out who is here, the judges. I also have my favorite celebrity crush as one of the judges. If I'm lucky, or maybe I might just, break into a song and he might just notice me. But other than that, let's have fun. Let's enjoy Kwamaimai. You look really cool. I love your shades.
Thank you.
What have you been up to, Clement?
Obviously, I came here today because it's the last day of the auditions. Ushunu, womahlaba, lamo, Gauteng. Gauteng. So we're making sure that we're showing support, and also just for me to have a taste of how it feels like what my I always hear people talking about my I'm like, no, I need to be there, you know. Me, I love the people, so where there's people,
being part of a talent show such as this one, like, doesn't this just have like a sentimental memory? I remember when I was young, I used to aspire to come to auditions.
You know, I always tell people that it all starts somewhere. Sometimes you just need one person to believe in you. Sometimes you just need that opportunity, that platform for you to make it. So a lot of people like saying to me, Emma, how did you make it? How did you get into the industry? I'm like, I used to go to auditions like everyone else. So now to come here and see people auditioning, I'm like, little do we know that one of these people who are around here are going to be one of the biggest artists South Africa or even the world will ever see. So for me, I'm rooting for them, man. I know how it feels when you want something so bad and you're like, I'm a step closer to my dream. So it is very beautiful.
You look really cool. You are giving Pharrell vibes. And and we'll see you on the television.
Of course, I'll see you guys. Thank you so much. Likewise.
The gorgeous Mpumi is here, ladies and gentlemen, and you are looking very stunning. So I'm sure the pressure was high, like you had to live up to the name of the show and wearing traditional outfits. Do you have all of them ready for all the provinces?
Re rukisa hantse nako e re dumela re rukise but tshantse re prepare re fitile ko Eastern Cape ba bona re Xhosa ra seba re fitile ko Mpumalanga sa ra sebua re fitile ko KZN Zulu siyakhuluma but yeah, we're just slowly but surely preparing for the looks.
How has the journey been so far in Joburg?
Joburg it represents South Africa kaofela. So you get a cocktail of talent. So it's been interesting because from a fashion perspective, one of different kinds of fashion ideas and looks. And of course from a talent perspective, yet again, you're seeing at the same time we're also so similar as South Africans. So that's what's been interesting. And the funny people, there's some funny characters who just come here to entertain. It's been lovely, very competitive, the energy is incredible, people are excited, so yeah.
It's getting a little bit cold in Johannesburg, so I decided to put on my jacket. It is getting late. These are the people that have been queuing for hours and hours with the hope to make it inside so they can perform for the judges. But some of them really do stand out. Cover the shoe, cover the pants, cover the belt, cover the hat, cover the cover.
Usikhangayana umuntu omdala vuba mina jolweni mantombazana nasiphuphula ngobonye kwabo ngokhana sibe ngisohluzela uqamalaza emkhozonto bengaphesheya komfula kwapinyezi kwakhasisa umfana wathi shaya mntakaduma sebevumile
ezingodweni emkhungu ndlovu ayasebenza amanye amadoda wendulalele nina
Ladalavu alinjozi langa Ladalavu alinjozi langa Lavuka.
When you make it big and become famous, don't forget me.
No, thank you. I'll remember you.
Yes. Okay, and now for the judges, there is definitely no singing competition without very, very good artists. And of course, they know the music, they've done it all. Most importantly, guys, they are stunning.
Number 111.
So what have you seen today that stood out for you?
There were a couple of voices that were quite remarkable, but South Africans can sing, guys. South Africans can sing in general. So I want a little bit more of like passion inside.
There's something, about how uniquely placed we are South Africans, so diverse in culture. We have so much heritage in terms of, sound that we can draw from. And I feel like people must dig deeper so we can really see and imagine you're on a global stage.
I know this is not about a competition, but will we hear a collaboration or something in the future between the two of you?
Maybe if the occasion calls for it, or if there's a topic. But mostly we're singing about very different things, so I don't know.
But it's cool. It's also, for me, collaboration comes from friendship and spending time with people. So we spend enough time together for there to be a possibility. I like to support her in her lane. It doesn't necessarily mean that my voice needs to show up. And I think I get the same from her as a friend. It doesn't mean that her voice needs to show up, but maybe one day it will, We will know when that time comes.
I just want to do a quick audition for myself. Like, out of 10, how do I sound?
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Okay, cut. Seriously. Ushunu.
Oh man, kind of makes me want to go Weshwele or Eshe. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, prolific singer-songwriter Langa Mavuso is in the building. You definitely don't want to miss it. Keep it locked to Trendz Live. Welcome back to the show. Now here's something truly exciting. South African singer-songwriter Langa Mavuso, one of the nation's most celebrated style and storytelling icons, is set to captivate hearts once again with his brand new single titled Best Friend. The track is a beautifully crafted sing-along anthem which promises to be a dedication to loved ones and cherished companions. We at Trendz Live found this extremely interesting and we wanted to find out more. So we invited him onto the show to come tell us about this fascinating tune. Ladies and gentlemen, may you get some noise. Welcome Langa Mavuso. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my first time actually.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well done. This is nice.
We really, really appreciate you joining us on the show. Now, let's get straight into it, right? So you released your debut EP in 2016. It's titled Liminal Sketches. Talk to me about how life has changed for you since then.
Sure, it's been how long now? Like 7 years, somewhere there. It's been a beautiful journey. I think that over the years we've been able to make tremendous achievements through music, through hit songs, through incredible live shows. I think that's always my highlight, the live shows. And just touching people and getting to connect people across the country.
Oh man, we absolutely love it. You have then grown, obviously, and you then titled your sound as Urban Soul.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you think your sound encompasses this genre.
I think that I have grown up listening to music that always feels like it's heart-centered, but I have a young spirit about myself that's always just like creeping in every single thing that I write. And so that's why I decided to encompass it as Urban Soul, because there's always heart, there's always love and truth and authenticity in the music, but there's also the youth that lives within me and just a cosmopolitan nature of someone who's grown up in a city like Joburg, like I have.
Oh my goodness me, you're a singer, songwriter, performer.
Yeah.
Is this something that you attribute to your training, or is it just the superstar nature that's inside of you?
I think that I've always just loved performing and I've always loved being on the stage. The moment that it happened when I was, say, 9 years old, the first time it happened on the stage in primary school, and then later on when going to the National School of the Arts, doing big events like the FIFA World Cup, and then getting signed by Black Coffee, and then playing big shows with artists like Leila Hathaway, Kenny Lattimore, Boyz II Men. So many artists that have allowed me the space to be myself. The stage is just my home. It's where I feel the most comfortable. And I think that the training has allowed me to find the discipline in honing the craft. But it's definitely a more natural talent that I attribute to God, my parents, my upbringing. The love for music comes from family. And so I think there's a whole lot of elements that have contributed to who I've become.
It's just that star power, man. You just can't help but feel it all the time. I remember I was hosting a concert and you were on the lineup and I was like, oh, Langa Mavuso is coming, and everybody was going crazy, obviously. But then I started to sing one of your songs and everybody started singing along, which shows me that you truly have a cult following.
Thank you.
Talk to me about how you think you've solidified your space in this music industry.
I think that I am incredibly humbled by the love that people have been able to share and give me over the years. There's some people that I even know at this point because they have followed my journey for so long and have supported me in such a beautiful way and in such an honest way. And so I don't want to be arrogant and feel like I've solidified or created anything. I just think that I've been given a platform that allows me to share and to connect with people. And I'm incredibly grateful that many of them have chosen to continue the journey with me thus far. And so it's really if I'll attribute it to anyone, it's to the listeners, to the supporters, abantu bala South Africa, abangihloniphile, bangithanda, bangeseka kuso sonke lesikhathi. So ngibonga bona more than anything.
I think it's also because you share such intimate parts of yourself through the music, so we can't help but fall in love with you.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate that.
Talking about the music, you then released Best Friends. Now I have to ask you, is this a song for lovers or is it for friends? Because there's a part of the song, and there's a part where you say, I could be all you need and more. I don't see myself as that to my best friend. I don't want to lie.
I mean, I totally get that. And so the song comes from a place of hopefulness and wishing to remember the kind of feelings that encompass friendship and love. And so for a long time, my music had been reflecting on grief and pain and overcoming that. And I've reached a place where I've wanted to remember what it feels like to be vulnerable, to be hopeful, to be happy, to be in love. And so for me, that first moment comes when you meet your first best friend as a child, right? Where you open up and you really let things come in. And so your best friend could be your lover, your best friend could be your friend.
So who's your best friend?
You have
is
to
it
wait.
a lover? Is it a friend?
That's my little secret.
Oh, that's okay. We'll take that. Listen, you really did say that some of the themes that come across in your music are of love, of loss, of pain. What do you think? I mean, outside of friendship, is there a different theme inside Best Friends?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest theme that also just lives within the song is the ability to have hope and to know that it's possible to trust that love is possible again, to trust that joy is possible again. And so many of the words in the song speak to the idea of release and surrender and letting go, and to say there might be wounds, there might be pains that have hindered you from allowing yourself to receive this jubilation, this love, this goodness, but trust that you are worthy of it. And so have it and enjoy it.
It's incredible. You threw out on social media that an album is coming. How far goes this album? Because you musicians like to make us wait, eh? Where's the album, Langa?
Hey man, I can leave you to rest assured that the album is done now. We're just in the final moments of just tweaking here and there to make sure that it's of the highest quality for the listeners and supporters. So it's coming very, very soon.
Of the things we can expect in the album, what are some of the themes? Are we gonna cry some more?
We're gonna cry in the beginning. We're gonna be happy and a little bit lost in the middle. We're gonna find God somewhere there as well. But generally, it's an album about overcoming. And so that's why the whole story had to be told. I think the last time I was in the studio, I was doing the morning show, and we were talking about You Live On and just closing that chapter of grief, of pain. And so that's the beginning part of the album. And as we go on, we kind of unfold the journey of healing and just that feeling of hopefulness and willingness to be happy and to jubilate again. And so it's an album that's about turning the page.
Man, we're so proud of you. I love your music.
Thank you.
Dilila Jalo, my goodness, we can't wait for the album. We also can't wait for you to start releasing dates for shows, and we absolutely love it.
We've got many shows that we are planning to share with everyone, to go around the country, which I know is super important. We just come from Eastern Cape recently, which was incredibly beautiful. So we're gonna keep doing it, and we just want to see everybody all the time.
Oh man, that was Langa Mavuso taking us through his brand new captivating sing-along anthem, Best Friends. He's now going to play us out and step onto the stage to indulge us in his poignant vocal range. This is where I have to leave you tonight, but fear not, we're back again next week, Friday, 8 p.m, exclusive to SABC News Channel 404. But you can call me Mne. From myself and the rest of the team, from our hearts to yours, au revoir, bye-bye.
You don't wanna lose control. You don't wanna step into something you don't know. You don't wanna lose control. You don't wanna step into something you don't know. I could be all you need and more. I could be all you need and more. Can you love me, darling? Can you love me, darling? I could be all you need and more. Can you love me, darling? Can you love me, darling? Find it so hard to open up since they went and broke your trust. You need a best friend, someone you can depend on. Tired of the same things, yeah. You see, you need something different, yeah. Different, yeah. Open wounds and scars got you looking back. Just open up your heart and leave it in the past. You just need something different. Just need something different. So don't give up on us. Don't give up on trust. I could be all you need and more. Can you love me, darling? Can you love me, darling? See, I could be all you need and more. Can you love me, darling? Can you love me, darling? What I do, at most to believe, when all I need is love about you and me. So give me love, give me love, give me love, give me love. Hey, love.